Welcome to the Oregon Wine Board's Cost of Goods and Gross Margin Calculator. Let me give a real quick overview of opening and saving projects. Remember that any project that you create can be saved and re-accessed, but it's saved on our servers and not on your computer. So very important is the URL for the project that you are creating. And the way to save a project is to bookmark it. Depending on which browser you're using, it'll be either a favorites or a bookmark. And then make sure also to clearly name the project so that you can access it at a later date to make changes and updates. So the step-by-step is put in your name, add the date, then the name for this project. So this would specifically be the name of the wine that you're working on for this project, your winery name. And then you can also put in the actual case production or projected case production of the wine that you're running financial scenario for, and then the ex-sellers or winery selling price. Now this is a price that would be established for the FOB that you would sell to distributors, but it would also be the price that you would use as a best practice for the transfer price from production to your tasting room or to your wine club. Once you've got this information plugged into the program, then hit save up here and then bookmark the project, all right? If you're going to be using different computers potentially, make a copy of this URL and email it to yourself or put it in a place for safekeeping, because remember this, the information is not saved on your computer, it's saved on the server, and it's very important so that you can re-access the program for later work. So what this program is intended to provide is a way to cost out a specific individual wine to achieve the cost of goods from production, and then also potentially look at the gross margin that that wine will provide from a production standpoint. So it's a great learning tool, but it's also a great business tool for managing and looking at potential profitability scenarios for your different wines. So once you've got this information input, real quickly, what we're going to be looking at is the FOB price, the revenue this wine would generate relative to the production, what your cost of goods is per case, the gross margin, which is a differential between the production cost and your sales cost. It will then auto-calculate a number of different things, including the estimated retail selling price, the tonnage of grapes required for production, cost of grapes, and then the total gross margin from production. So as an example, if I'm making 3,000 cases at $160 a case, this will project this wine would sell for roughly $29.99. And if I wanted to run scenarios and look at this at $180 per case FOB, I can plug that number in, and then you'll see the changes in the estimated retail selling price. You would then also see the changes in your gross margin, etc. So it does all these calculations automatically, and is really fun to use and very valuable. So the first thing you do is input grape costs. We have preset numbers in here that are easily changeable. And you'll notice also that if you pick Pinot Noir, for example, it'll give you an Oregon average benchmark, Oregon low Pinot per ton price, high, and then the prices by average for each of the major Oregon AVAs. This information will be updated as we get new information. And you can see then if I want to change this to Tempranillo, I do that. It'll give me the new pricing across here. The important thing is to enter the cost per ton that you're going to use for this. If you do not see the grape variety in the pull down, there are 2 blank fields, and you enter whatever cost you would like to run, whether it's an average or whether it's a known cost. And you can put up to 7 different vineyard prices in here, or different wines that go into a blend, up to 8 different wines in total. All right. And so if you are making a blend, then make sure that you're also putting what percentage of each grape that you're putting in and the price per ton, and then it'll completely run your scenarios. I'm just sort of randomly putting in some line here. I would change this. I would then change to whatever my blend would be, and off we go. It'll do all the math for you and plug in those variables. When you then go to the production page, what we're going to do is do a conversion of a ton of grapes and a calculation for the number of cases that you intend to get from a ton of grapes. It's a basic conversion. And so in this case, you see what my average cost per ton of grapes is. Now, we also have the ability for you to enter in, if you're going to use existing material that you have in inventory, or if you're going to supplement with bulk wine, or even run a complete bulk wine scenario. So using this stepper, as it's called, you can change your percentages of how much full production wine from the grape cost per ton, and then how much bulk wine up to 100%, which will automatically step down the percentage of full production wine. And where you're going to enter the cost of the bulk wine is here. Remember, this is a cost per gallon, and again, it'll all do the equations. But what's really neat is when you change this price, it'll do all the calculations. And when you change this percentage, it'll also tell you how much of the bulk wine you're going to need for the percentage that you're going to blend in. We'll also give you a calculation of grape needs and costs. That's very simple and easy, and so forth. So just follow along one by one. Barrel costs, a lot of variables. So put in the percentage of the type of program that you have. You then get to put in the cost of the barrel, the resale or transfer price if it's a new barrel and going to transfer into a longer term program, what percentage of wine in each regimen, how long it's going to be in each program, and then what's your evaporation rate over time, and it'll give you a very accurate estimation of barrel costs. In cellar and storage, how long are you going to maintain the wine in storage in the winery? And again, you can change the cost per case of storage and then the number of months. It then goes into any additional cellar treatments if they're not included in the total winemaking costs. And then the case goods storage after the wines are bottled and completed. How long are you going to hold it before release, and then average it out over a course of a year after release of the wine into the market. So this is the pre-tax in bond, and this is after taxes are paid. The next tab is the packaging and bottling. You can put in a single price if you know it for the complete packaging, or you can do an individual workup. But make sure that if you're doing the individual workup, that this is 0, and conversely, if you're doing a known case cost, that these are 0. Anything pertaining to label design, additional packaging expenses, certificate of label approval, the bottling and filling costs. If there's any changeover fees or special treatments, you can plug those in here. and you end up with your cost of finished goods. And then from there, we give you a complete FOB and cost breakdown, looking at the contribution to the final cost of goods by percentage in dollars per case, and then the total costs by grapes, production, bulk wine barrel, aging, cellar storage, packaging, and so forth. Then this also gives you a quick rundown. Understand that we're just plugging in some estimated costs so that you can see what a relative or standard pricing might be. If we go back to the project info, this shows you the workup for our auto calculation of these costs. So enjoy this, have fun. Don't forget that the Oregon Wine Board is conducting workshops both live and we anticipate by video. So contact the Oregon Wine Board for more education programs and enjoy the program. Thank you very much. Don't forget to save your work as well, and don't forget that this project will be stored and will be able to be recalled from the server as either a bookmark, okay, or by saving and recalling this URL. Thank you.